We have several application problems starting with example 4. So example 4 says to graph y equals on the window of negative 10, 10 by negative 10, 10. Does this window give us a complete graph? This right here, let me get my last page out here. That negative 10, 10 by negative 10, 10 is this graph right here. It's going from negative 10 to 10, negative 10 to 10. This is a standard viewing window. And how do we get to that standard window? That is Zoom 6. Okay, so let's put this into our y equals, and then we'll do Zoom 6. So we have 0.05 x squared minus 17x. And I'm going to go Zoom 6 for Z standard. Okay, so the question is, once we graph this on this window here, does this window give us a complete graph? Well, if I was graphing a linear equation, I would say yes, this is a complete graph of this. But because I know that this is an x squared, this should be a parabola. This should be a U shape. And this is not a U shape, this is just a line. So this is the answer to the question, it's no. Why is it not? Because you can't see its turning point. Or otherwise known as the vertex. To be able to say I see the complete graph of a parabola or of a quadratic equation, you have to be able to see that turning point or that vertex. So it doesn't ask us to, but how could we find it? Well, we can use this ZoomFit, and we've used it barely in module 1. We're going to be using this quite a bit going forward. So if I want to see the entire thing, first what I want to do is find where that vertex is. And we can find out where at least that x coordinate of that vertex is by doing x equals negative b over 2a. So here, my negative b would be 17, because we have negative 17 for positive 17. Over 2 times my a is 0.05. We're going to have 17 over 0.1. That's going to give me 170. Okay. I don't know what my y point is for my vertex. The ZoomFit's going to figure that out for us. What I do know is that the x coordinate of my vertex is 170. And on this graph right here, we went only to 10. So not even close to enough. If my x, my goodness, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. If the x coordinate of my vertex is 170 and I'm only at 10 right here. So I can use this to my benefit though. If I want to make my x min 0, for this to be halfway in between a window, I would want my x max then to be double this of 340. Okay, so again, I'm wanting this 170 to be in the middle. So what I did is I made my x min 0 and I doubled my x max of this right here to become 340. Once I change this window here, then I'm going to hit Zoom 0. And what is Zoom 0? right here, it says it calculates the min and max Y values for your current X min and X max range. So what's going to happen is your X min and max don't change. They're going to stay as these numbers here. And then it's going to change these Y values to make it fit the graph. So I'm going to go into my window, change my X min to 0, my X max to 340. And then I'm going to go zoom 0. And zoom 0 is that ZoomFit. So hit enter. And now I can see a window of that entire thing. So let's do that here on example 5. It says find the vertex of y equals 40x minus 4x squared. Graph on a window that includes the vertex. So because I already have to graph this on a window that includes the vertex, let's find part of the vertex by hand, and I'll use the calculator to find the rest of it. So like we did up here, let's find the x coordinate of my vertex. And that is x equals negative b over 2a. Now be careful here. I told you on that front page that they are typically going to do this as x squared x constant, but it does not matter what the order is. Your a is not always first. Your a is what it is ever with that x squared. Your b is always whatever is with that x. And then your constant, your c, will be without a variable. So here, this is out of order because now it is x and then x squared. So my negative b would be negative 40 over 2 times a, which is this negative 4 right here. So we have negative 40 over negative 8. And so we have an x coordinate of 5 for my vertex. So I'm going to change my window really back to what it was. We're going to change our x min to 0. Okay, I'm almost always going to put my x min at 0. And then for my x max, you're going to take this and double it. Okay, this is just a good way to make sure that that vertex is in the middle of your x min and max. Once we change this, we will do our zoom 0 and it will fix our y's for us. So clearing this out, we're putting in 40x minus 4x squared. Go to window, and we are changing this from 0 to 10, and then zoom 0. And so there is my graph. So once I get that graph, I can go ahead and find my vertex. I'm going to hit trace 5, and that gives me my vertex of 100. So once I have graphed it, then I'm going to hit trace 5, enter, and that gave me my vertex at 5, 100. Which is what it gave me right here.